CDL Practice Test, Texas, General Knowledge, Part 1. Question number 1. What checks should you perform on the steering gearbox? A. Up to 1 stroke 4 of the steering parts may be broken. B. The steering box should not have mismatched, bent, or cracked lug nuts. C. The steering box should not be missing any nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. The correct answer is here, C. The steering box should not be missing any nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. Explanation. When you turn the steering wheel, the steering gearbox translates the rotation of the steering column into the turning of the wheels on the steering axle. When you inspect the steering, check that the steering box is securely mounted, neither it nor the hoses connected to it are leaking, and no nuts, bolts, or cotter keys are missing. Question number 2. Which of the following is the most effective way to plan for an escape or maneuver if a hazard becomes apparent on the road in front of you? A. Watch for traffic cones, construction signs, and other posted road information. B. Avoid areas where traffic hazards are most common. C. Firmly grip the steering wheel at all times to ensure you have maximum control. D. Stay alert for the entire duration of your drive time. The correct answer is here, D. Stay alert for the entire duration of your drive time. Explanation. The best, most effective way to prepare for an emergency maneuver or escape is to remain alert for the entire time you are on the road. Question number 3. If you get only 5-6 hours of sleep the night before, your chance of an accident will increase by A. 2 times, B. 3 times, C. 50%, D. 25%. The correct answer is here, B. 3 times. Explanation. A recent study by the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety found that if you get only 5-6 hours of sleep, you triple your risk of an accident. If you get only 4-5 hours of sleep, your risk of an accident is comparable to your risk if you're legally intoxicated. Left square bracket. Acute sleep deprivation and risk of motor vehicle crash involvement. AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety, December 2016. http /foundation.org WP content uploads /2017/12/acute sleep deprivation RAS risk PDF. Question number 4. If you are traveling at 55 miles per hour in a 30-foot vehicle, you should leave how many seconds of following distance? A. 4 seconds. B. 6 seconds. C. 3 seconds. D. 7 seconds. The correct answer is here, A. 4 seconds. Explanation. The formula for following distance is 1 second per 10 feet of vehicle, plus an extra second if you are traveling above 40 miles per hour. Therefore, for a 30-foot vehicle traveling at 55 miles per hour, you should leave a following distance of 4 seconds. Question number 5. Why should you complete a post-trip inspection report? A. To alert others to safety problems. B. So that you can't be blamed for any subsequent damage. C. To impress your boss. D. To prove you finished your trip. The correct answers here. A. To alert others to safety problems. Explanation. You should do a post-trip inspection of each vehicle you operated. Note any safety-related problems that you found while driving the vehicle and repairs that you believe are needed. The inspection report will let the next driver know if there are safety-related problems. It will also let the motor carrier know if safety-related repairs are needed. Federal regulations require an inspection report be completed by the end of the day's use of the vehicle. 49 CFR 396.11. Question number 6. You should put the starter switch key into your pocket while you perform the pre-trip inspection, because A. Someone could steal the truck. B. Someone could start and move the truck. C. Any of the above could occur. D. It could damage the starting mechanism. The correct answers here. B. Someone could start and move the truck. Explanation. While you are performing the pre-trip inspection, you do not want someone, such as a co-driver, who is unaware of your location to start your vehicle and accidentally injure you. Question number 7. What is the IPDE method of driving? A. Identify, project, dedicate, execute. B. Idea, predicts, decide, execute. C. Identify, predict, decide, execute. The correct answers here. C. Identify, predict, decide, execute. Explanation. Identify, predict, decide, and execute. IPT is the step-by-step process behind the principles of defensive driving and complexities of visual perception in traffic. Question number 8. Your blood alcohol concentration, BAC, depends on your A. Body weight, B. Age, C. Height. The correct answers here. A. Body weight. Explanation. Your blood alcohol concentration, BAC, is affected by how much alcohol you drink, how quickly you drink it, and how much you weigh. The larger your body, the larger the volume through which the alcohol has to spread. Question number 9. While driving, you see a small, 1-foot square, cardboard box ahead in your lane. You should A. Brake hard to avoid hitting it. B. Steer around it without making a sudden or unsafe move. C. Hit it with your vehicle to knock it off the road. The correct answers here. B. Steer around it without making a sudden or unsafe move. Explanation. You have no way of knowing what may be inside a seemingly harmless looking object on the roadway. Even cardboard boxes, paper or cloth sacks, or plastic containers may contain some solid or heavy material or a sharp object capable of causing damage. Always scan the roadway at least 12 to 15 seconds ahead so that you can spot such obstacles in time to steer around them safely. Question number 10. If you are found to be driving a commercial motor vehicle with your blood alcohol concentration, BAC, above 0 but below 0.04%, A. You will be allowed to keep driving. B. You will have to pay a small fine if you're convicted. C. You will be arrested. D. You will be ordered out of service for 24 hours. The correct answer here, D. You will be ordered out of service for 24 hours. Explanation. If you are found to be driving a commercial motor vehicle with any amount of alcohol in your blood, you will face a penalty. If your blood alcohol concentration, BAC, is below 0.04%, you will be ordered out of service for 24 hours. If you are convicted of having a BAC of 0.04% or above, you will lose your CDL for at least 1 year if this was your first offense. Question number 11. In Texas, if your load extends more than 4 feet beyond the rear of your vehicle, you must have A. A red flag on the end of the load in the daytime, B. A special permit, C. All of the above, D. A red light on the end of the load at night. The correct answer is here, C. All of the above. Explanation. If your load extends more than 4 feet beyond the rear of your vehicle, you must do the following. Open bracket. 1. Obtain a special permit from the Texas Department of Transportation Permit Office. Open bracket. 2. Attach a 12-inch square red flag to the end of your load when traveling during the day. Open bracket. 3. Attach a red light visible for 500 feet to the end of your load when traveling at night. However, there are a couple of exceptions to these requirements. Read sections 14.3 and 14.4 of the Texas Commercial Motor Vehicle Driver's Handbook for details. Question number 12. When should you use controlled braking? A. If the vehicle is equipped with anti-lock braking. B. Only use with hydraulic brakes. C. You need to stop quickly. D. To keep the vehicle in a straight line when braking. The correct answer is here, D. To keep the vehicle in a straight line when braking. Explanation. You should brake in a way that will keep your vehicle in a straight line and allow you to turn if it becomes necessary. Unless you have ABS on your vehicle, you can use the controlled braking method or the stab braking method. Question number 13. How many classes of CDLs are there? A. 4, B. 2, C. 1, D. 3. The correct answer is here, D. 3. Explanation. There are 3 classes of CDLs with endorsements for specialized qualifications for vehicles like school buses, tank trucks, tractor trailers, etc. The CDL classes are A, B, and C, retrieved from https://www.fmsa.gov registration commercial driver's license. How do I get commercial driver's license? Question number 14. The distance that you should look ahead of your vehicle while driving is about at highway speed. A. 1/4 mile. B. 1 mile. C. 25 feet. The correct answer is here, A. 1/4 mile. Explanation. While driving, you should scan the road 12-15 seconds ahead. At 60 miles per hour, your vehicle will travel 1/4 mile in 15 seconds. Question number 15. Which of these statements about drugs is true? A. A driver can use any prescription drug while driving. B. Amphetamines can be used to help the driver stay alert. C. Use of drugs can lead to accidents and or arrest. The correct answer is here, C. Use of drugs can lead to accidents and or arrest. Explanation. Use of drugs can lead to traffic accidents resulting in death, injury, and property damage. Furthermore, it can lead to arrest, fines, and jail sentences. It can also mean the end of a person's driving career. Question number 16. Every time you park your vehicle and shut the engine off, you should A. Apply the parking brake. B. Leave it in gear, if it has a manual transmission. C. Turn the steering wheel as far to the left as you can. The correct answer is here, A. Apply the parking brake. Explanation. Whenever you park your vehicle, set the parking brakes. There are only two exceptions. Open bracket. 1. If the brakes are very hot, applying the parking brakes might damage them. Open bracket. 2. If the brakes are wet, applying them in cold temperatures might cause them to freeze, immobilizing your vehicle. In these two situations, use wheel chocks instead. Question number 17. When you drive in the mountains, you will have to use lower gears to drive safely down grades. Which of these does not affect your choice of gears? A. Length of the grade. B. Weight of the load. C. Type of tire tread. The correct answer is here, C. Type of tire tread. Explanation. To determine which low gear to use to begin a descent, consider the weather, the length and steepness of the downgrade, the weight of your cargo, and the road conditions. Question number 18. A placard is used to warn others of hazardous materials. They are placed outside the vehicle, and they identify the A. Weight of the cargo. B. Value of the cargo. C. Destination of the cargo. D. Hazard class of the cargo. The correct answer is here, D. Hazard class of the cargo. Explanation. Placards are used to identify the hazard class of the cargo. If you're transporting hazardous materials, you're required to have 4 identical placards on the vehicle, 1 on the front, 1 on the rear, and 1 on each side. Question number 19. What is the most important reason for putting lighter cargo on top of heavier cargo when loading a truck? A. To avoid crushing the lighter cargo. B. To allow for safer braking. C. To increase the fuel efficiency of the vehicle. D. To avoid tipping over when swerving, avoiding a hazard. The correct answer is here, D. To avoid tipping over when swerving, avoiding a hazard. Explanation. If you have a high center of gravity, heavy cargo on top, you risk tipping over the vehicle when swerving or avoiding a hazard in the road. Question number 20. Which of the following statements is true? A. Most hazards are more easily seen at night than during the day. B. Many heavy vehicle accidents occur between midnight and 6 a.m. C. Most people are more alert at night than during the day. The correct answer is here, B. Many heavy vehicle accidents occur between midnight and 6 a.m. Explanation. Truck accidents are more likely to occur in the mid-afternoon or between midnight and 6 a.m., times when drivers are naturally drowsy. Question number 21. Which of these statements about accelerating is true? A. When traction is poor, more power should be applied to the accelerator. B. Rough acceleration can cause mechanical damage. C. You should feel a jerking motion if you are accelerating your vehicle properly. The correct answer here, B. Rough acceleration can cause mechanical damage. Explanation. From a stopped position, accelerate smoothly and gradually. Jerking forward or rough acceleration can cause mechanical damage, possibly including damage to the coupling if you're pulling a trailer. Question number 22. Letting the air out of hot tires. A. Is a bad idea because when the tires cool off, the pressure will be too low. B. Will cool them down, you will be able to continue your trip sooner. C. Will have no effect at all. D. Is a good idea because the extra pressure will be relieved. The correct answer here, A. Is a bad idea because when the tires cool off, the pressure will be too low. Explanation. When tires get hot, the air pressure increases. However, relieving that extra pressure will leave the air pressure too low when the tires cool again, and then the tires may catch fire or blow out. If your tires are too hot to touch, stop until they have cooled down. Question number 23. If you are being tailgated, you should do all of the following except A. Increase your following distance. B. Avoid tricks such as flashing your brake lights. C. Avoid quick changes. D. Speed up. The correct answer is here, D. Speed up. Explanation. Don't try to speed up to outdistance or appease a tailgater. No speed is too fast for some tailgaters. Instead, increase your following distance and if possible, keep right to let the tailgater pass. Question number 24. It is important to shift gears correctly to keep A. The engine warm. B. Control of the vehicle. C. The engine oil flowing. The correct answer is here, B. Control of the vehicle. Explanation. For full control of your vehicle, you need to know when and how to upshift or downshift. Learn under what special conditions you should downshift. For example, learn how to use engine braking to slow your vehicle on a steep descent. Question number 26. If an automatic transmission is forced into a lower gear while driving, what is not affected on a downgrade? A. Brakes. B. Clutch. C. Steering. The correct answer is here, C. Steering. Explanation. Forcing an automatic transmission into a lower gear at high speed could damage the transmission and also lead to loss of all engine braking effect.